Hi, my name is Dr. Chris Cochran. I'm chair of the Department of Healthcare Administration and Policy in UNLV's School of Community Health Sciences. Welcome back to UNLV and welcome back into the Healthcare Administration program. I'm assuming that most of you are new students in healthcare administration or at least considering seeking a degree in healthcare administration, which is why you're taking HCA 175. Since many students who seek a degree in healthcare administration don't start out with that degree in mind, I did want to provide this as an opportunity to give you a little bit of orientation for the program, particularly since it's doubtful that many of you went through orientation early on when you started at UNLV. Most of you are in this class as a result of maybe having started out with some other major, or you've waited a year or two before you've declared your major. For those of you who are pursuing a degree in healthcare administration or plan on becoming HCA majors, you are likely HCA pre-majors at this time. And you cannot be a major in healthcare administration until you have completed HCA 175, plus you must have a grade point average of 2.5 or higher. So upon completion of this course, I'm sure all of you are going to have good GPAs. Once you complete this course, the first recommendation I want to make to you is go to the advising center. I'm going to be making that recommendation to you several times throughout this message. But go to the advising center and change your major from HCA pre-major to HCA major. Because in the future, as you're trying to take our upper division courses, our 300 and 400 level courses, you will not be able to do that if you are an HCA pre-major. You must be an HCA major. I mentioned advising, and I mentioned going to the advising center to change your major at that point, but I also recommend that you go to the advising center on a regular basis, at least once a year, to make sure that you're on track to completing the program. That's very important. So before I get into some background on exactly what healthcare administration is, I just want to keep saying advising, advising, advising. This is going to be an important resource for you during your career at UNLV. So what is healthcare administration? Well, I refer to healthcare administration primarily in a nutshell as the business side of healthcare. There are a number of people who work in healthcare. When we think of healthcare, we think of people who are working in clinical roles, either nurses or physicians or therapists or folks who are providing the direct care to patients or clients. Healthcare administration is actually the portion of healthcare that makes these facilities run, that coordinates the activities that are going on. You'll find individuals with degrees in healthcare administration working in hospitals, working in large physician group practices, working in managed care organizations such as Southwest Medical Associates, or working in large health insurance companies, or policy making. There are a vast variety of areas where students may be working in healthcare. Shouldn't omit long-term care because that's another one of the fastest growing areas in healthcare. Perhaps you're interested in health information systems or medical records. That's going to be a huge area in healthcare administration. So that's really what healthcare administration is about. Our folks work in hospitals, they work in long-term care organizations, they work in all of those different types of settings, and it provides you a real opportunity for employment upon graduation. Because of the Affordable Care Act, we know that there's going to be a bigger demand on healthcare, and with a bigger demand means greater opportunity. So I would encourage you to be paying attention to the types of different growth areas that we can expect to see in healthcare, and take advantage of those different activities. One way to be taking advantage of those different, of understanding the different sectors in healthcare administration is to get involved with the professional group organizations that meet, including the local, the university's HCA Student Association, the HCA Student Association, that's what it's referred to. Being a member of this group will get you reduced registration into some of the professional organizations such as the American College of Healthcare Executives, the Health Information Medical Management System, Healthcare Finance Association, or Medical Group Management Association. These are professional organizations, networking organizations that meet typically on average of once a month, either in a breakfast or lunch setting. Sometimes there are evening mixers, and so pay attention to those because we let you know when they're happening. But they are great opportunities for students to network with the professional community and to get some advice and mentoring started early on in your academic career. Don't just wait until you're a senior and say, I'm not sure what I want to do in healthcare. We really want you to start thinking about what you want to do in healthcare administration from the time you start taking classes with us. It's not something students or seniors are in high school and thinking about what they're going to major in, and they don't think about becoming a healthcare administration major, which is why many of you have found your way into this major. You may have started out because you wanted to be a clinician or a therapist or something, and then decided it's just not for me. But I still want to work in healthcare in some way. This degree gives you that opportunity. All right, so one of the things that you're going to be doing, as I mentioned, is getting advising and the importance of becoming an HCA major. I want to encourage all students to, if you have not been to the Advising Center so far, to go this semester. Go through the Advising Center. They are in CEB 399. Their telephone number is 702-895-5448. Make an appointment so that they can help lay out a good path for you in order to take our courses. We are a small department. We only have 5 full-time faculty, although we have some wonderful part-time instructors who work in the field and who will be great contacts for you in the future. But because we are a small department, many of our courses are only offered once in an academic year. We only have a handful of courses that are offered more than once a year, and those are typically more of the underclass courses, such as 175 or HCA 202, the epidemiology course. We now currently offer HCA 399, which is the pre-practicum, and HCA 400, which is the practicum, both semesters, but those courses cannot be taken until you are nearly a senior or a senior in healthcare administration, and there are some prerequisites to get in there. I mentioned to you about some of the prerequisites because even though you are taking 175, you have very few other underclassmen courses that one can have available to them in healthcare administration. But we do have a number of what we call our HCA core, which includes courses such as accounting, economics, statistics, social work, those areas. Those are part of our core that we recommend that you take in your first 2 years in healthcare administration, because some of those courses, particularly the accounting courses, are going to be prerequisites for some of our upper division HCA courses. For example, Accounting 201 and 202 are required prerequisites for HCA 302, which is the healthcare finance and accounting course. That course is only offered once a semester, so if you were hoping to take that next semester, you need to make sure that you've got those accounting courses out of the way. When you're taking the core courses, our expectations are that students must complete those core courses with a C- or better in order to avoid having to repeat those courses. And when it comes to the HCA courses, the upper division courses, you are required to make, or the HCA courses I should say in general, you're required to make a C or better in order to avoid having to retake the course. So it's very important for you to understand that, and that anything less than that may require you to retake a class. And this is important because I mentioned before, we only offer some of our courses once per year. And because of that, a lot of our courses, or most of our courses, fill up very quickly. You will notice that you will see large sections of our courses. We're trying to work on that. We'd like to add additional sections where we can, but it's still difficult for us. And so for the time being, you can expect that there are going to be some courses that are only going to be offered once per year. Because of that, again, it's important to go through advising to make sure that you are eligible to take those courses when they become available. But also you want to make sure that when the registration opens up, that you register when your registration opens, because otherwise those courses can fill up and you can find yourself scrambling in order to try to get those courses added, either begging a professor to let you in, or you may have to go so far as to wait an entire year before you take those courses. Know the sequencing of the courses. Know which ones are prerequisites for other courses so that you can make sure that you take them sequentially. You have a resource in order to do that, and that's the UNLV Advising Center. Okay, so to cap things off, I do want to make sure that you are aware of the resources that you have available in the community in order to make some to get some mentoring done. Make sure that you use the advising center correctly. Make sure that you register when registration is open. Excuse me. And keeping in mind that registering for a class, perhaps you don't have the resources to pay for it yet, but there's nothing to prevent you from registering for a class while you prepare to decide how you're going to pay for those courses down the road. It's or when at the closing, just before school starts. But you want to make sure that you've got a seat in those classes. I know that many of our classes are online, and many of the professors in the department, including myself, really would like the opportunity to meet you. So we encourage you to come by our offices. We're on the 5th floor of Bigelow Health Sciences. Come by our offices, introduce yourselves to us. Let us talk to you about some of the courses that are available for you. Get to know us. Many of our courses are online, so we don't meet you in person. But we do want to meet our students, and we do want you to take full advantage of your opportunities in healthcare administration. And then finally, when it comes to looking at the courses that we have for our students, I also want you to be aware of what we call guided electives. Guided electives are different from electives in that guided electives are courses that can be used to bolster your knowledge in healthcare administration. Perhaps it's a nursing administration course, or a planning or marketing course in business, or human resources course. Those would all count as guided electives as long as they're upper division courses. We also offer 2 courses as electives in healthcare administration, which can be used as guided electives: healthcare politics and policy, and long-term care. These courses too are offered only once a year in the academic year, although they're often available during the summer to take as electives. We also have a course, HCA 203, Healthcare Disparities, which meets both the guided elective requirement, the only lower level, 200 level course that can meet a guided elective requirement, and also covers your multicultural requirement and diversity requirement for the university. So those are available to you. Okay, I know you have questions. The only way I'm going to answer them is you come by my office and you talk to me, you introduce yourself to me. I do look forward to meeting you. I hope you have a wonderful semester. I hope you have a wonderful career. And we will see you either on the internet or come by. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.